Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode here on the channel for our second time out here in the full-time Xfinity Series season now, as we would jump straight into the action here at Auto Club, where a track that I usually come to and run pretty well at here in the NASCAR Heat 4, even Heat 3 Career Mode. I always had a lot of success at this track, so I was expecting good results. Unfortunately, I did not have a very good qualifying lap coming into this race, and so far to start the season here in the Xfinity Series, we've only done 2 races, and it so far has gone half decent. We had a strong run in Daytona and a solid subpar run at Las Vegas, I think it was now, for the second race of the season. So hopefully we can back that up with a very strong effort here today in Auto Club. Obviously, being in a poor qualifying position, we had the first 2 stages cut out for us, probably a little bit tougher than it should have been, as I actually just completely screwed up the qualifying lap. It wasn't like I was lacking a lot of pace, I just did not put a good lap down in the car. So we were down here in P19 heading down into turns 3 as Jeremy Clements led the way at this point as we went down into turn 3 just behind Jeffrey Earnhardt, giving him just about a bump to the back. Now as we came through out of turns 4, I always love coming to this track because you can just really be aggressive here, and there's really a lot of 3-wide racing that goes on. It almost feels like a plate race sometimes, and we would now get past Josh Bilicki there in the 99, getting into the back there with Tommy Joe Martins. I had draft partners still on because I forgot to turn them off at this point. Now as we came through turn 3, though, passing Martins, we would take over P14, but as a bit of a surprise to myself, that was as far as I got here in stage 1. I ran down Alex LeBay coming through down the front straightaway, though, to the line, but no stage points here in stage 1 as Jeremy Clements looks to be the one in command of the field right now here in Auto Club. Now, as we've obviously already had one surprise winner this season, what I consider to be a surprise winner in the last episode at Las Vegas, and Jeremy Clements could already be a second one in just the first 3 races of the season if he somehow is able to hold on to the win. We would, though, get ready to go green here for the start of stage 2. All of the Joe Gibbs racing cars right here clumped together, 11th, 12th, and myself now actually P13th now, or P13 now as we would get going for stage 2. So not in the greatest shape for this team as a whole right now in Auto Club as we go down into turns 1. Keep in mind, still an all-rookie class, but we would fight to the outside of our teammate of Harrison Burton, then get to the outside of Daniel Hemrick here on the exit of turns 4 on this first and opening lap of the second stage, as well as we would get past Justin Haley, and I was just climbing my way forwards very quickly here with 3 to go in the second stage. So we were up into P11, putting the pressure on the back of Chase Briscoe to get up inside the top 10 and get some stage points, as we would briefly go 4 wide there with Haley. Briscoe, now we slide up into the one of Michael, and then we hit the outside wall, or he gets a wall, we push him into the wall, we make contact, we hang on to it, and everybody keeps it straight. But 100% my fault, or a rookie mistake really, here in the Xfinity Series for myself as I went down into turn 3, just trying to regroup myself from something silly like that. Now as we came through out of turn 4, back on the inside of Chase Briscoe, we were 3 wide for a brief moment with him and Annette. Now as we had Harrison Burton as a draft partner trying to get linked up to the back of me as we hit just 2 to go in stage 2. Now as we got to the inside of Daniel Hemrick down into turns 1, and we would be able to pass Hemrick and take over P11, and then we would get to the inside of Brandon Brown now on the final lap of stage 2 as we would climb up into the top 10, finally into some stage points as we went down into turn 3. It took way longer than it should have to get into the top 10, because I really do think we have a car that can contend for a top 5, maybe even a top 3, or even have a chance to win this race. Now as we came through, though, making a bit of a mistake on the front stretch, we would cross the line P10 behind Alex LeBay, just like we did in stage 1 behind Alex LeBay, but we still at least got a stage point this time, and this sets us up a little bit better here for the start of the third and final stages. It was actually Justin Allgaier who was the stage 2 winner now as we get ready to go green for the start of stage 3 here in Auto Club. Hopefully we'll have a good chance here to maybe pick up a bunch of positions on this restart. I really like to use that outside lane on the restart, and really you can use the outside lane quite often here, or what I consider the outside. That's only like 2 or 3 lanes up, not up by the wall. Now as we go down towards turns 1, so less than 10 to go here in the third and final stage. Behind us we got Harrison Burton, we got Chase Briscoe, some 2 big names here in the Xfinity Series that are really going to be some of our contenders right down to the final race of the season. I think I'm hoping that we can go a long way in the playoffs, but we would get to the inside of Justin Haley. Then we got to the inside of the 36 here, so we went down into turns 1 on lap 15. At this point, we would move up into P7 behind Noah Gragson. So we were climbing our way up into a position where we might be able to bring the fight to the front, as we would also pass Noah Gragson down into turns 3 and take over P6 away from him. And then next thing you know, we climb up behind Austin Cindric, now passing the 7 of Justin Allgaier. And here we are now in the top 5 as we came through, though, on lap 18 on the outside now of Cindric, as we have 3 wide racing in front of us here. We got our teammate of Riley Herbst, who's worked his way to the front, Ross Chastain in the middle, Ryan Sieg on the far outside now. So I'm going to get into the mix and push Ryan Sieg out in front as we go down towards turns 1, and we're trying to move up somehow now into the second position as we go down into the corner. Herbst up my inside, Sieg all the way up top now, as we might even be 3 wide for the lead, but no, we're not going to be able to carry the momentum, and it's going to be Herbst and Sieg side by side down this back straightaway. So we would just kind of continue in this little scrap with these guys here. Herbst on my inside, I get towards the back bumper of Ryan Sieg. Austin Cindric trying to slip up in behind me as I went down into turn 3. Then Justin Allgaier got into the mix now as we came through out of turns 4. So it was still side by side here, 2 rows deep. A little bit of contact there with Allgaier now as we went down towards turns 1 with just 3 laps to go. A big bump to the back of the 39 of Sieg, trying to push him ahead, but now he goes sideways from the front position as he hangs onto the car. A big save from Ryan Sieg, but obviously just couldn't keep control after that big bump I gave to him. So we come to now 2 laps to go. Herbst loses the lead. He drops down to P4 as I would pass him on the outside. I get to the back of Allgaier. Chastain out front as I go down into turn 3, trying to get back into P2 to put the pressure on Ross Chastain as we exit turn 4, hoping to clear Allgaier here down the front straightaway. Didn't quite happen. Now on the final lap through turns 1 and out of turn 2, trying to get within distance of Chastain, but Allgaier was not letting up on the fight now as we go down this back stretch for the final time. So now it's just a race for P2 as we side draft the 7 for JRM as we go down into turns 3 for the final time. Herbst behind me, Cindric up top on the outside of Herbst, but it's Ross Chastain who leads the way out of turns 4 as we're still side by side with Justin Allgaier down this front straightaway for the final time. Chastain will win in Auto Club as we barely inch out Allgaier for the second position here in Auto Club. So our 3rd race in the full-time Xfinity season, and we come through to finish P2 in Auto Club. So can't complain about that, but if we could have just cleared Justin Allgaier out of turn 4 coming to the white flag, I think we could have at least had a chance to make a move on Chastain and pick up our first win in the Xfinity series very early. But we're P5 in the points coming in to the next race here at Phoenix Raceway, where once again, not a good qualifying lap for myself here in Phoenix. We started down in P17 as we would get underway here. This track I was not looking forward to be completely honest. Obviously, we've only run 1 race here so far in our Heat career mode, or Heat 5 career mode, and that was in the Truck Series where I could only run P7 in the trucks. That was really as far as I could get. We still, like I said, obviously, as you guys know, we won the Truck Series Championship with a P7 finish, which was a bit surprising. But knowing that I could only do P7 in trucks, I was thinking we're probably doomed for the Xfinity Series here now, as I went nowhere in stage 1. I got to P16, and that was as far as I got. Then the 6 of, I believe that is David Starr, got up my inside on the final lap of stage 1 through turn 3 and out of turn 4, and he would take over the position and come through. We come through to cross the line here in stage 1, P17. Jeremy Clements once again back out front, so he's showing some more speed like he did at the early stages of Auto Club. But what a complete change from Auto Club. We go from running P2 to running like complete trash right now here in Phoenix. The car just was not turning through the center of the corner. Obviously, I think I was running preset 7 or 8. I can't remember exactly which one, but it was one of those 2 now as you would get ready to go green here for the start of the second stage, just behind the 61 of Austin Hill. Obviously, we come into this race with quite a few points to spare. We were P5 in the points right now, so we can definitely afford a bad race or 2 here, but obviously I would like to make it easy and just get a victory and lock ourselves into the playoffs as soon as possible, like we did in the Truck Series. I think it was race 3 in the Truck Series when we got our first win, so we did not accomplish that here in Xfinity, and we're definitely not going to get our first win here in Phoenix, I can tell you that much, unless something absolutely crazy happens. And it was a struggle for stage 2. I went once again absolutely nowhere. We come to the final lap of the stage, and I'm still side by side battling with David Starr as I went through turns 1 and 2. Riley Herbst, our teammate, though, was out front leading the way. Our other teammate of Harrison Burton, he was just a handful of positions in front of me, so he was also struggling outside the top 10 as I went down into turn 3 for the final time in the stage. Someone behind me got into the back of me there and got a little bit loose, but once again, a terrible stage. It was P17. I just had absolutely nothing for anybody here so far in Phoenix, so obviously my hopes were pretty low going into the third and final stage, but I was hoping maybe we could get lucky and just get a lucky break here, really, and hopefully we can get ourselves up towards the top 10 before this thing is over. It's certainly going to be tough now as we will get ready to go back green. Now as the green flag is out and the third stage is underway here with just 13 laps to go, I get very aggressive right off the bat, going down on the apron, going up the inside of both Tommy Joe Martins and David Starr. But David Starr gets clear as we go down into turns 1, so we're side by side with Tommy Joe as our teammate Riley Herbst leads the way out of turns 2 now, as he was hoping that he could just use this as an opportunity to check out as quickly as possible, as it's pretty evident that he has a pretty fast car here today in Phoenix Raceway. He very well could be the first Joe Gibbs Racing rookie to get a victory here in the Xfinity Series this season, as I really feel like it's between myself, Harrison Burton, and Riley Herbst to get a ride for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Cup Series next season. Whichever one of us performs the best will likely be the one getting that ride now, as we don't know which ride is open yet for Joe Gibbs next season, but as this season progresses, that news is obviously going to open up on which car we could potentially be in next season, or Harrison Burton or Herbst for that matter. As you guys know, I will be doing some driver roster changes, and we're going to definitely incorporate this battle with Burton and Herbst into the storyline. As we came to straight the 3 laps to go, as there was actually trouble right in front of us. The one car of Michael Annette blows the right front tire, slams into the other cars in front of us. We get a piece of it, and the caution comes out, and this would force overtime here in Phoenix. As you can see, we've been running P17 I think the whole race, so there hasn't been a whole lot to show. Now as we would get ready though for an overtime restart here to decide the result here in Phoenix. Now as the green flag is back out, and my car did not launch at all on the restart, so our chances of gaining a bunch of positions completely wiped now, as this was a thing back in the NASCAR Heat 4 career mode, and it is a thing here in the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode as well, as I'm noticing now. Thankfully though, we haven't been in a position to DNF at all this season so far, as I think 704 has done a great job implementing the DNFs in this game as we go down into turns 3. When the game first dropped, it was very hard to DNF, and I wasn't a fan of that, but they actually updated it, and now it seems actually pretty legit. If you smash into the outside wall with your front end of the car, you're going to DNF for sure, and that's the way it should be in my opinion. As we start the final lap, we drop down to P18, but Noah Gregson took the lead from our teammate of Riley Herbst on the restart, so it's Gregson leading down the back straightaway here on the final lap. And now as we get into the back there of the 07 of Ray Black Jr., we're going to push him down into turn 3. He slides a little bit but hangs onto it as we come through out of turn 4. Noah Gregson wins for the first time this season, locks himself into the playoffs. We come through to cross the line in a very disappointing P18, our first non-top 10 finish this season, but a track that I kind of expected it to happen at, so I really don't have to complain too much. Like I said, I saw it coming, but obviously we know this is a championship race, so we're definitely going to have to work on the car next time around if we are in that Final Four here this season in the Xfinity Series. But that will be all the races here for today's episode. As you can see, we dropped from P5 to P11 in the points after just one bad race, which is a little bit disappointing. But as always, if you guys enjoyed what you saw, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. In the next one, we will be going to Atlanta, where I think we could be a very strong contender to get our first career Xfinity Series win. We might do 3 races in the next episode, we'll see, to get closer to the Cup Series hot seat. But I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.